So, Chair, we are now live. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Cabinet. This is 6 o'clock on the 14th of January 2021. I'm just going to run through a few items first before we start the meeting. So this virtual meeting is being live streamed as a public meeting. It is also being recorded, and the recording is going to be subsequently made available via the Council's website. In addition, under Local Authorities Executive Arrangements, Meetings and Access to Information England Regulation 2012, other people may film, record, tweet, or blog from this meeting. The use of any such recordings or images is not under the Council's control. Please note that members of the public viewing the meeting via the live stream can only see the person who is speaking, and also that it takes a second or two for Zoom to switch between views. So please just pause before speaking when you've been called. Participants should also ensure that their microphone is muted when they are not speaking. So I'm going to ask all of those present whether they can verbally confirm that they are here and they can see and hear the proceedings. And I'm going to start with Cabinet members. So Councillor Barclay.
Good evening, Leader. Yes, I can see and hear.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Bailey.
Good evening, Leader. I can see and hear the proceedings.
Thank you very much. Councillor Boker.
Thank you, Leader. I can see and hear proceedings.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Councillor Harper-Davies.
Good evening, Leader and all. I can see and hear the proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Mercer.
Good evening, Leader. I can see and hear the proceedings.
Councillor Poland.
Good evening, Leader. I can see and hear the proceedings.
Thank you very much. Councillor Ratway.
Evening, Leader. I can see and hear the proceeding. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Rawlings.
Evening, Leader. I can both see and hear proceedings.
Thank you very much, Councillor. And then finally, Councillor Smitherich.
Good evening, Leader. I can both see and hear the proceedings.
Thank you very much, Councillor. We also have a number of officers attending this evening, so I'm going to ask each of them also to verbally confirm that they are able to see and hear the proceedings. So we start with Rob Mitchell, who's our Chief Executive.
Good evening, Leader. Thank you. Yes, I can see and hear proceedings.
Thank you very much. Simon Jackson, our Strategic Director, Environmental and Corporate Services, and our Section 151 Officer.
Thank you, Leader. I can see and hear proceedings.
Thank you very much. Adrian Ward, our Head of Strategic Support and Monitoring Officer.
Thank you, Leader. I can see and hear proceedings.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Justin Henry is our Strategic Director, Commercial Development, Assets and Leisure.
Thanks very much, Leader. I can both see and hear.
Thank you very much. Leslie Tanzi, Head of Financial Services.
Thank you, Leader. I can see and hear the proceedings.
Thank you very much, Leslie. We also have Sylvia Wright, Head of Leisure and Culture.
Thank you, Leader. I can see and hear proceedings.
Thank you very much. We also have Kevin Bruin, who's our Learning and Organisational Development Coordinator.
Thank you, Leader. I can both see and hear proceedings.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Ian Brown, who's our Strategic Asset Manager.
Thank you, Leader. I can hear and see the proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ian. And Karen Widdowson, our Democratic Services Manager.
Thank you. I can both see and hear proceedings.
Thank you very much. And keeping us all in tow, Laura Strong, our Democratic Services Officer.
Thank you, Leader. I can see and hear the proceedings.
Thank you very much. And then finally, joining us this evening, our Chair of Scrutiny Commission, Councillor Season.
Thank you, Leader. I can see and hear the proceedings.
Thank you very much, Councillor Season. So we're now on to item 1 of the meeting, and item 1 is apologies, and we have no apologies this evening. So we move on to item 2, which is disclosures of pecuniary and personal interests. I have a declaration, and I think along with Councillor Boker and Ratway in relation to item 6, we are, the three of us actually are directors of the Business Improvement District, Loughborough. And as such, we will be leaving the meeting for item 6, and the meeting will be chaired by Councillor Barclay instead. Are there any other disclosures that anyone needs to make? Okay, I can't see any hands up, so we'll move on in that case. So we're now on to item 3, which is the leader's announcements. I do not have any announcements this evening. So we're now on to item 4, which is the minutes of the previous meeting. So everyone's received a copy of the minutes and hopefully has read through them. Nobody has raised any points with me as to inaccuracy. So if you could confirm verbally that you are content to approve the minutes of the previous meeting as a correct record, please do so. So I'm happy to confirm that they are correct. Councillor Barclay.
Yeah, I confirm they're correct, Leader.
Thank you. Councillor Bailey.
I can confirm the minutes.
Thank you very much. Councillor Boker.
Yes, I can confirm the minutes, Leader.
Thank you very much. Councillor Harper-Davies.
Thank you, Leader. I can confirm the minutes are correct.
Thank you very much. Councillor Mercer.
I can confirm that the minutes are correct.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mercer. Councillor Poland.
Happy to confirm. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Councillor Ratray.
Yes, happy with the minutes. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Councillor Rollings.
Thank you, Leader. I'm happy with the minutes.
Thank you very much. And finally, Councillor Sminovich.
Yes, I'm happy with the minutes, Leader.
Thank you very much. That's 10 out of 10. So those minutes are fine. So now on to item 5, which is question under Cabinet Procedure 10.7. No questions have been submitted. So we now move on to item 6. But as I said before, Councillors Boker, Ratway and myself will be leaving the meeting at this point. So we'll be turning off our cameras and our microphones. And Councillor Barclay, over to you.
Right, thank you, Leader. So this is the Loughborough bid third term report, and it's a fairly straightforward report. I would invite the Head of Scrutiny, Councillor Seaton, to present her report.
Thank you very much, Councillor Barclay. Well, I'm reporting on item 6, as you said, the Loughborough Business Improvement District for the third time. The meeting discussions went on for some time, and some of the items that have been highlighted is the process used in previous ballots was preferred, although it will go out to tender. The cost of up to £25,000 towards the ballot process that would cover a period of 5 years is to be funded from the council's reinvestment reserves, as it was thought that asking the bid to also fund the consultation and ballot may make the membership of the bid less attractive to members. When asked if the ballot could be completed in-house, the committee noted that it would not be possible for the council to undertake the business consultation internally, as the process required independence and neutrality in order to avoid bias. And the committee also noted that the council has waived the collection of the bid levy of £19,000 previously in the year during the COVID-19 epidemic in order to support the local businesses. The bid had since developed new strategies in order to overcome these issues and had now collected £200,000 compared to their usual collection of £230,000. So they've done very well on that. So the Commission, having carefully considered and asked questions on the report, felt that the Cabinet should approve the recommendations set out. Therefore, the recommendation of the Scrutiny Commission is that the Cabinet be informed that the Commission welcomes and supports the recommendations. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Councillor Seaton, and thank the Scrutiny Commission for their report. Now, before you go away, I will just ask whether any Cabinet member wants to raise any questions of clarification on the report. I can see no arms raised there, so we'll move on into the item. This is, as I stated, a very straightforward report. We've had the major points brought out by Scrutiny. The bid Business Improvement District adds greatly to the value of the commercial offering in the town centre. It also encompasses quite a few items: the in bloom competition, the Christmas lights, marketing, and really supports businesses in the town to a great degree. So we're going out again, and we're very much hoping that this will prove successful and that the businesses will vote to pay an additional levy to maintain the services they've got. And we've got 3 bid board directors on our cabinet. So without any further ado, I will request any questions. If any cabinet members have any questions on this report, please raise your hand and I will try and get Sylvia to ask them if there are any. Right, well, nobody wants to ask any questions, so that's it is, as I said, a very straightforward report. I have not really got anything else to add. We are moving on to the officer recommendations and noting the Scrutiny Commission report. So I propose recommendations 1 to 4 on page 12 for the reasons 1 to 3 on page 12. If I could ask Councillor Harper-Davies to second that.
Yes, thank you, Vice Chair. Thank you very much. I'd like to recommend this item.
Thank you.
Chair, can I just be clear? There's also reason 4 on page 13. I think you just
Yes, there is. Sorry,
Yeah.
I
Okay, thank you.
that was not on my screen. Thank you, Laura. Right, so that's clarified that. So we're going to we've had a proposer and a seconder, now we're going to vote on this. So can I ask each member to verbally confirm they are either for or otherwise? So I will start off. I am for the proposals. Councillor Bailey.
Thank you, Deputy Leader. 4.
Councillor Harper-Davies.
Deputy Leader 4, thank you.
And Councillor Mercer.
I am for, Deputy Leader.
Councillor Poland.
I'm for, Deputy Leader, yeah.
Councillor Rawlings.
I'm for the motion, Deputy Leader.
Thank you. Councillor Smitovich.
Yes, 4.
Okay, so that's all those in favour, so that's unanimous and the proposals are passed. So I'm going to now ask Councillors Morgan, Boker and Rattray to return to the meeting, and then we will proceed with the next item, which I will also be presenting, I think.
Thank you very much, Councillor Barclay. Right, should we move on to item 7? This is Treasury Management Strategy, Annual Investment Strategy and MRP Policy Mid-Year Review. We have Leslie Tanzi is here as our Head of Financial Services to assist with the report. And hopefully Councillor Barclay can lead, we'll take the paper as read, of course, but Councillor Barclay, hopefully if you can say a few words before we start any discussions or questions.
We have to approve annually a Treasury Management investment strategy and capital strategy. This is a 6-month half-year report. It shows how we manage our cash flow, how we do our investments. The appendix to the report shows exactly where all our money was on the date of that report. It gives us a good outline of how we manage the capital strategy, how we plan our capital strategy, and it also gives a summary at the beginning, albeit outdated, of the general global economic impact. So that is all I've got to say, and I'll hand over to Leslie if she would like to add anything else to that.
Thank you, Councillor Barclay. I'd just like to note the 2 date changes within the report. Firstly, the title should read, it's a mid-year report to the 30th of September. This report's also been reported to the Audit Committee on the 22nd of December. Secondly, a timetable date change is that this report will now go to Council on the 22nd of February. Just on another note, within the body of the report, just to sort of update you on table 4.1, which is a capital expenditure prudential indicator, you'll see that we have a commercial investment budget of 25 million. Just to update you on that figure now, the spend to date is 22.7 million after the purchase of 5 commercial properties. In addition, the HRN spend, which looks fairly low on this current report, just an update on that. The spend to date is 2.4 million against an 8.9 million pound budget. We are likely to spend possibly another £1 million on the HRA. There is likely to be an underspend on the HRA due to COVID and obviously not accessing some of the houses. Just another point to note that Appendix 1 at the very back of the report, at the 30th of September, we were sitting on cash balances, which are third-party cash balances, sort of Section 106 monies, capital receipts, HRA monies at 60 million. Just an update on that, that we are now sitting at 48 million. So the cash balances are holding up. And then just to note that the capital strategy, including the treasury management strategy for next year, 21-22, that will actually come to Cabinet in February. So thank you. I'll take any questions and if anybody's got any.
Thank you very much, Leslie. So if you can raise your hand if you have any questions. Otherwise, between Councillor Barclay and Leslie, there's been a pretty thorough thing. Councillor Mercer, you've got your actual hand up.
Thank you, Leslie. The economics and update sections of these reports is always very, very historic. And as I started to read it, I was thinking, oh, this looks rather good. And I realised it was like reading a copy of the FT from last October. I understand the reasons why it's out of date because of the amount of time it takes to produce these reports. But is it really necessary to put the effort into doing it if it doesn't add an awful lot of value to the report?
Thank you, Councillor Mercy. We will provide next year, the timetable should come forward on this half-yearly report. So we should get the report to Cabinet earlier than December. So it should come to Cabinet with updated information in sort of October, November next year. So I'll ensure that that happens, but we can always provide additional economic updates for you at any given point. And also, as I've just introduced, we will be taking, within the capital strategy in February, there will be another economic forecast, which is more up to date.
You happy with that, Councillor Mercer? Okay, good. Right, any other questions that anyone wishes to raise? Nope. Okay, so in which case, thank you very much for that, Leslie. If I can go back to Councillor Barclay and ask you to make a proposal.
Yep, bearing in mind the renewed dates that Leslie Tansley has said, that this will come to full council on the 22nd of February 2021. I will make recommendation as outlined on page 24 for the reasons outlined on page 24. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you very much, Councillor Barclay. And Councillor Boker, would you wish to second?
Yes, I'd like to second this, Leader. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to ask everyone if they can verbally say whether they're for or against this item. So, Councillor, well, I'm for this item. Councillor Barclay.
For, Leader.
Okay, Councillor Bailey.
For, Leader.
Councillor Boker.
For, Leader.
Councillor Harper-Davies.
For, Leader.
Councillor Mercer.
For, Leader.
Councillor Poland.
For, Leader.
Councillor Ratway.
For the item, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Poland. Sorry, Councillor already done with Councillor Poland. Councillor Rawlings.
For the item, Leader.
Thank you very much. Councillor Smitovich.
Yes, 4, Leader.
Thank you very much. That's 10 out of 10. So that's agreed. Thank you very much. Okay, we now move on to item 8, which is the People Strategy for 2021-2024. There is a Scrutiny Commission report with this item. So I'm going to ask Councillor Season whether she would be able to deliver the report from the Scrutiny Commission before we ask any questions. Thank you.
Sorry, Leader, I've got problems with children here at the moment. Mum's just left, she's a nurse, so she's on shift tonight. So the meeting discussions was very varied. I do apologise. We're very varied, and I would like the Cabinet to take it as read. I think that's going to be the best way to do it. And the Commission, having carefully considered and asked questions on the report, felt that the Cabinet should approve the recommendations as set out.
Thank you very much, Councillor.
Done now.
You did very, very well. You did very, very well. I had earlier in a meeting earlier today, I had 2 cats decided to actually fight each other just as the meeting started. So yes, we lived through interesting disruptions. Thank you. I hope she's okay. Whatever it was that she came in for.
Oh, her mum's going to work. You see, she's a nurse, so she's worked shifts.
Okay, tell her that Granny will be there soon. Okay, look, thank you very much for that. Are there any questions of clarification that anyone wishes to ask Councillor Season?
I'm sorry, I must interrupt now. He's gone now, and I must say it was a very good paper, and it just shows that the value that we put in our staff, because I think it's very important to consider that we're looking after them. The home working it became an issue to make sure that people weren't being forced to work at home, and there was enough support being given them, and the Commission were quite satisfied that there was. And as I say, the value that we show our staff was very important. I think one thing was brought up as well. What about the members? Should they be have a consideration in this? And I think it's being sorted out on another paper. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very good. Thank you. Are there any further questions of clarity that anyone wishes to ask? No. Okay. Thank you very much for that, Councillor. So we have with us Simon Jackson, who's a Strategic Director, Environmental and Corporate Services, and we also have Kevin Buren, who's our Learning Organisational Development Coordinator, to assist with any questions. But I'm now going to ask Councillor Smitovich to say a few words in addition to the paper that we've read before we lead into any discussion or any questions on the paper itself. Councillor Smitovich.
Thank you, Leader. I'm really pleased to present this people strategy tonight. Last year, as has been said, we had an exceptional year, and the way people have had to change their methods of working, it was quite incredible how quickly people responded to the demand, mainly because of COVID, of course. It's not a straightforward strategy to read, in that it aligns with a number of other related policies and sets out to explain how the council intends to further develop its workforce over the next 4 years. The outcomes and the actions that are encapsulated within the 5 themes focus on priority areas in far more detail. And it's essential, if we're to bring about a modern, changed, agile organisation, that we address all of those. I frequently sort of remind myself and other people that it's people that make things happen, and working together in a shared culture with shared values. We need to produce empowered, proactive, rather than a reactive workforce, and I feel that that's certainly been happening. I would add that there have been considerable consultation with staff and the unions, all of which will continue. There will be challenges to face, And for this reason, you have the two recommendations before you that we're asking you to consider. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you very much, Councillor. So can I ask, before we actually go into questions, are there any additional points that either Simon or Kevin would like to add in addition to what Councillor Seaton or Councillor Sminovich have actually raised so far?
I think that's fine. The only point I wanted to add is that the actions from the strategy will be coordinated under the new People Development Plan that will be overseen by the People Group, which is part of the new SWAP programme at Charnwood. The SWAP programme is the main driver for looking at efficiencies and the effectiveness and modernising the organisation from a number of different angles, including services, workplaces, and workspaces and people. And it's the People Group that will be overseeing this particular action plan.
Thank you very much for that, Kevin. Okay, actually, I do have a hand up from Justin Henry, who's one of our strategic directors. Justin, would you like to add anything?
Yes, thank you, Leader. Just an ancillary comment to all of this. As all of you know, I'm a relative newcomer to the organization within the last 6 months, having joined within the context of the pandemic. And from an outside observation, I just want Cabinet to be aware that both the quality and the ability of staff to adapt to the current scenario and almost in a de facto fashion adopt this agile approach, but still remain productive and actually achieve, has been phenomenal. So it's just an outside opinion to lay credit at the feet of every individual that works at Charnwood to say that they've actually done a fantastic job.
Thank you very much for that. That's, I mean, I would hope all of us recognise that as well. But it's great to have somebody, who's come in relatively recently to the organisation to be able to say that as well. So thank you very much for that. That's really, really good to hear. Councillor Mercer, you've got your hand up.
Thank you, Leader. Can I ask Simon or Kevin, in the scrutiny report, it makes a reference to sickness levels going down and suggests that that's got something to do with people not working in open plan offices anymore. And a figure that struck me as quite remarkable was that in the United States, the CDC, which tracks diseases, said that the number of people with flu had actually dropped from last winter. I think it was something from 16% to 0.2% this winter. So that obviously is a big factor. But are you tracking the reasons for the decrease in sickness and the reasons for the increase in sickness as a result of people being stressed from working at home and having to put up with screaming children and fighting cats and whatever?
Yes, I was just checking if Simon wanted me to answer that one. Yes, the sickness figures are regularly monitored, including rates and the reasons why people are actually sick. And those reports go regularly to SLT for consideration. I mean, I think one of the significant factors for us, particularly as a result of the lockdown, is the Charnwood Council established prior to the pandemic. We have large open plan office spaces, and unfortunately it is particular bugs and viruses like the flu that tend to spread quite easily in those sorts of areas. So we have been able to see a considerable reduction from that. But we have recognised as well the extra stress on people's mental well-being from potential isolation and for some people working in difficult circumstances. And we've put a number of things in place to support staff. And that's an important part of people's strategy going forward as well, to make sure that we support staff properly in the future. As we develop the workforce with greater flexibility, it's important we keep on top of that going forwards.
Sorry. Thank you very much for that, Kevin. I can't see any further hands up. So, oh no, there is one. Councillor Smitovich, you've got your hands
I
up.
was trying to do it, but it wasn't
Okay,
clicking.
cool. It's gone up now.
Yeah, it's also to say that it's still being reviewed, so it's not as if it's just a done deal and we walk away. There's continual reviewing of what the situation's going to be, and there should be opportunities in the future for provision for people to meet up. But I think the role of the service manager for each area is going to be really, really important. So it's not just a neat bundle. There will be review, and we are listening to staff. So I just wanted to sort of reassure anybody that might be listening that is continuing.
Thank you very much. Good point. Rob Mitchell, you've got your hand up as well.
Yes, thank you, Leader. Just to add, actually, the focus is understandably on sort of some of the agile working and some of the impacts of COVID, but the document also takes into account the desire to sort of modernise more generally and predates the pandemic. And one of those areas is around competencies and trying to develop staff in terms of that empowerment that Councillor Smitovich mentioned, which I think is really important, and also looking at sort of more entrepreneurial approaches and problem-solving approaches across the authority. So it really does try and enshrine our sort of values and our approach, and to put those into a document that's going to be supported with training and development. So I'm really keen on the whole approach that we've got parcelled up with the people strategy, our financial strategy, our asset strategy. This is part of that whole in terms of how we take the organisation forward. So it really is quite a key document for us, and it's not just about what we do, it's about how we do it, linked into things like customer services. So it is a really big key document for us. So as Kevin says, we have got a number of things set up to help us take it forward and make sure it's implemented despite the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Okay, no further hands up. So I'm going to ask Councillor Smitovich to make a proposal.
Yes, I'd like to propose the two recommendations that are on your paper, and also for the reasons that we would like you to approve this.
Okay, thank you very much. And noting the Scrutiny Commission report as well, can I ask Councillor Poland to second?
Very happy to second, Leader.
Thank you very much. So I'm now going to go through everyone. If you can say whether you're for or against the proposal. I am for the proposal. Councillor Barclay.
For the proposal, Leader.
Councillor Bailey.
For the proposal, Leader.
Councillor Boker.
For the proposal, Leader.
Councillor Harper-Davies.
For the proposal, Leader.
Councillor Mercer.
For the proposal, Leader.
Councillor Poland.
For the proposal, Leader.
Councillor Rattray.
For the proposal, Leader.
Councillor Rawlings.
For the proposal, Leader.
Thank you. Councillor Smitovich.
Yes, for the proposal, Leader. And can I make a comment just to thank Kevin, because he's put a tremendous amount of work into this and into answering the numerous questions that I keep posing to him. So thank you, Kevin.
Thank you from all of us as well. Thank you for that. Good comments, Margaret. Okay, thank you very much. That's confirmed. So we now move on to item 9, which is the urgent decisions taken. So Karen Woodison is here to help or assist with the item. And if there are any questions, then by all means, I will try to answer them. Everyone's obviously read the pack, so they're aware of what the urgent decision relates to. So actually, it relates to something in Councillor Mercer's area. So Councillor Mercer, can I just ask you to say a couple of words before we actually make a proposal on this one and note it?
Thank you, Leader. This is a rather successful exercise by our officers in getting a grant of over £500,000, which we're using to purchase a 5-bedroom property. And that will be converted into having en suites, and the objective will be to use that to help integrate homeless people, and in particular rough sleepers, who want to actually get back into society. And so the reason for the urgency is because we have to acquire this property quite quickly, and we're confident that that will happen very soon. So I think it's a great exercise, and it will certainly benefit the people who are very much struggling more than we struggle at the moment.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that, Councillor Mercer. We're being asked to actually note this paper, the decision that's been taken, the urgent decision that's been taken. Councillor Mercer has summarised probably far better than I could have done the key points, so everyone's aware of that. So I'm going to propose that we note the item. Councillor Mercer, are you happy to second?
I'm happy to second, Leader.
Okay, thank you very much. So in which case I'm going to ask everyone that they're happy to note the proposal. So I'm happy to note it. Councillor Barclay.
Happy to note it, Leader.
Thank you very much. Councillor Bailey.
Happy to note it, Leader.
Thank you very much. Councillor Boker.
Happy to note, Leader.
Thank you very much. Councillor Harper-Davies.
Happy to note, Leader.
Thank you very much. Councillor Mercer.
Happy to note, Leader.
Thank you. Councillor Poland.
Happy to note, Leader.
Thank you very much. Councillor Ratway.
Happy to note, Leader.
Thank you very much. Councillor Rawlings.
Happy to note, Leader.
Thank you very much. Councillor Smitovich.
Yes, happy to note, Leader.
Okay, that's everyone. So happy to support and note the urgent decision taken. Thank you very much.
Leader, could I just confirm that's for the reasons set out in the report?
Sorry, yes, apologies.
Thank you,
Apologies, Laura,
just
for
for
the
the minutes.
reasons
Thank
for the
you.
reasons set out on the agenda on page 62. Apologies.
Thank
Absolutely
you.
apologies. Thank you very much. Okay, so item 10, which is the exempt information. So I'm going to propose to exclude members of the public from the meeting during the consideration of the following item on the grounds that it will involve the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined in paragraph 3 of part 1 of Schedule 12A to the Local Government Act of 1972. And it is considered that the public interest in maintaining the exemption outweighs the public interest in disclosing the information. So can I ask, thank you very much, Councillor Barclay. Again, likewise, I'm going to go through and ask people to verbally confirm that they're for or against. So I am for. Councillor Barclay.
For.
Councillor Bailey.
For, Leader.
Councillor Boker.
For, Leader.
Councillor Harper-Davies.
For.
Councillor Mercer.
For, Leader.
Councillor Poland.
For, Leader.
Councillor Ratway.
For, Leader.
Councillor Rawlings.
For, Leader.
Councillor Smitovich.
For, Leader.
Thank you very much. That's everyone in favour. So I'm going to ask the Democratic Services